Okay. Should be live now. Yeah, I'm live. Cool. Well, not so cool. Well, cool that I'm going live, I suppose, since it's been really long since the last stream. How long has it been? Definitely over a month, I think, right? Yeah, last stream was April 5th. So, anyway. Let's go. Hello, Lavi. How you doing? Hello, Nintendo Dylan. How you doing? Might be a little bit of a somber stream. Um, Without going into too much detail, um, someone who I knew online for a very long time passed away the other day, and it's been hard. It's the first time something like this has ever happened to a friend of mine, both in real life and online, so it's a lot to process. But I'm I'm persevering, I suppose, which is probably what they would have wanted. Yeah, that's been at the forefront of my mind for the past day and a half, and it's been, I've done things to try to get my mind off of it, like going outside for a walk or playing a video game or something, or or this what I'm doing right now, live streaming after I'm talking about it right now, but you know later on I'd like to discuss other things in this stream and try to take my mind off of the very um, difficult emotions I'm going through right now. Some people watching this already know who it was, but for those of you who don't know, yeah, well, I'm not gonna announce it here on the stream because their partner hasn't gone public with this person's death yet. But it was someone who I knew for a very long time, since the Meverse days. Me and them didn't talk, regularly on Meverse or anything. I think the most I talked to them on Meverse was under a certain pedophile Meverse YouTubers posts on there. I'm sure you know who I'm alluding to there, and that's how I met this person. And you know, yeah. Again, it's hard, especially since I've known this person since 2014 or maybe even 2013. Uh, but yeah, again, it's just surreal. It doesn't feel like it's real, but it is. There's nothing you can do about it. You can't change what happened. Again, all you can do is persevere, which is what I'm attempting to do. But I don't handle these kinds of things really well because I'm still 4 months later really fucking depressed over the death of my cat Charlie. That is something I will probably never get over. I still also have trouble coming to grips with my grandmother dying, and she died almost 4 years ago. This September will mark 4 years since she passed. So yeah, I'm not the best with death, obviously. Anyway, what are people saying in the chat? be nice to, you know, discuss other things, I suppose. Get my mind off of what happened. Let's go. Hello, doing good. Crying emoji. My new medicine is working well, better than the last one I was on. Oh, I see. Sup? What's up, Lavi? How you doing? Yo, you like my new profile pic? Well, it's too small for me to be able to tell what it is, but I guess it's nice. My profile pic is a profile pic I used back in 2017. Courage the Cowardly Dog in front of a fire background. I didn't make it. Some people have asked me if I made this profile pic that I currently have for my channel. I didn't. I think I found it off of Google Photos, like, I don't know, years ago. Well, definitely 2017 at least. I found that picture. I don't know who made it. I tried reverse image searching the picture a few months ago to try to give whoever the fuck made the picture proper credit, but I guess whoever made it took it down. I don't know, because I couldn't find it. I couldn't find the original source anymore. All it led to was my channel. Funny story that happened yesterday. I called a kid a fake gangster online, and he got so angry that he ordered 6 pizzas to my house using his own money just to annoy my family. Wait, is this is this someone you only know online? Because if so, how the fuck did they attain that information? I'd be kind of concerned if that happened to me. Unless, this is someone you know in real life and you were talking to them online. The controversy around Vivian might be a funny topic. It's kind of a frustrating topic, because it's just yet another of these stupid controversies the right wing likes to fucking stir up. Shit, shit that doesn't really matter. Like, who the fuck cares if this shadow thing is a trans person in a video game? But this is what these kinds of people like focusing on, and it's really dumb. Oh, Vivian's actually a femboy. Didn't the original translation, like, point blank, say that Vivian was born a boy, and they feel like they're a woman? That's like definitionally a trans person. That's not just simply being androgynous. Yeah, these are the same people who champion who are vehemently against localizers censoring or the material they are translating. When this version of Paper Mario: The Thousand Year Door, the remake that came out a few days ago, or even just a day ago, I don't fucking know, but is more accurate to the original to the original story than the original release here in the West was. So really, this is the complete opposite of censorship. They're sticking true to the original source material. But no, this is a topic that these people don't like. So now conveniently they are pro censorship. Now they are conveniently, trying to twist and distort the original source material, trying to say, no, this character isn't trans, they're just a femboy. No. No. I understand how you feel losing a pet. I lost my cat Marion in 2023. Oh, I'm very sorry. Yeah, losing a pet is, well, I already knew what losing a pet was like before Charlie passed back in January. I lost my cat Debbie, who birthed Charlie back in 2019, the day after Christmas of all days. And then I lost my cat Tony last year. That was really fucking difficult too because I was close to Tony as well. But Charlie was on a whole other fucking stratosphere because that cat was my best friend since I was 7 years old. I watched Charlie. I, I saw Charlie being born. So literally from the very second he was fucking born, I had an attachment to that cat. Yeah. Speaking of pet deaths, someone on my Discord server posted that Doge, the real dog's name is probably gonna butcher the pronunciation of this name, but who fucking cares? Kabusu, the Doge, Doge, the meme dog that people now associate with the stupid fucking uh, cryptocurrency or Bitcoin, whatever. Yeah, the dog was 18. That is one hell of a long life for a dog. Outlived Charlie. Yeah, my friend lost his dog last month, early April, I think. Yeah, I've talked about that dog on this channel in the past. I mentioned in that dog rant I made a few months ago that dog really annoyed me, but even still, it sucks that whenever an animal dies, whenever someone's pet dies, because he obviously was in fucking shambles when that happened because he had that dog since he was a kid. A whole bunch of messages I haven't read. Message retracted. No, I was texting them on Snappo, so it was a person who already knew in real life. Even still, I don't know how I'd feel about 6 pizzas being delivered to my house. Well, actually, you know what? That actually does sound nice. Scratch that. Wouldn't eat all of it in one setting. I know I'm a big guy, but even for me, that's fucking insane. But I still appreciate all of the free food coming to my house free of charge. Hello, Robert. How you doing? She had imprinted on me. They care so much, such snowflakes. Also, Vivian is very much trans. She literally says in the remake, it took me a while to realize I was their sister, not their brother. Yeah, but they'll still just say, oh, these are the localizers making the game woke. In the original Japanese release, Vivian was actually a femboy. You know, again, it's just so fucking stupid because these are people who supposedly champion the West not censoring, original material that, was originally in a foreign language. And by definition, the original USA version of the Thousand Year Door, and I think also, what was it, the German version, I believe, completely censored the fact that Vivian was trans in the original Japanese release. But no, since it's about, trans people and queerness, you know, that's when these people are, completely fucking drop, being anti censorship. All they have is one line of dialogue from Goombella or Beldam's transphobia. And they call leftists snowflakes when they behave the same exact way. Oh god, the right has always been way more snowflakey. I mean, here they are melting the fuck down over a fictional character in a Mario game, as if it's serious fucking business. Even Kaya Rychik, Libs of TikTok, is melting down over this. But again, this is all just fucking bullshit controversy. It's something that shouldn't even be controversial in the first place. But within a few days, these people are just going to completely fucking forget about this and move on to the next moral panic. I think Kaya Rychik wrote something along the lines of Nintendo just introduced this new woke trans character to indoctrinate children into LGBT ideology. Well, maybe she didn't say that verbatim, but that's essentially what she said. And I'm like, introduced? Just introduced? This is a remake of a game that is fucking 20 years old. It has been common fucking knowledge for so long at this point that this character is not a cis, isn't cis. And I guess that's just another thing that really annoys me about this controversy. Most of these people aren't even fucking gamers. They don't give a shit about video games. They they only look for shit to be mad at. Outside of, complaining about woke characters and woke ideology, they don't give a fuck about the medium. I bet you they didn't even they didn't have any fucking plan of playing the remake of the Thousand Year Door. Probably don't even own a Switch. These are people who pretend to give a fuck about the medium so they can just continue to malign minorities. Also, it was way more explicitly clear in the Japanese release. Even the remake cuts parts out that point to her being trans, like how her sisters and others interact with her. Oh, yeah, I figured there were still some differences between the remake and how the original Japanese release went about her being trans. All languages but English and German in the original versions of the game have Vivian as trans. The Italian version outright says she is trans. Oh yeah, I heard the original Italian release was really based in this regard. The fact that people are outraged about Vivian being trans is not surprising. It is not surprising in the least bit. Again, they're gonna be fucking crying about this for, I'd say, the next 3 days tops, and then they'll move on to else is the whatever else is going to be at the receiving end of their erroneous bigotry. There'll be some other trans character or gay character, what have you, that they'll be raging over. Pronounced Kabosu. Is that correct? I'm bad with names. I'm sorry. That's very upsetting. Hello, Mikey. Do you know someone named Billy McGuire? I don't know who Billy McGuire is. Bully. I don't know who Bully McGuire is either. I'm good, just chilling. How about you? I'm not the best, like I said. Like I mentioned at the beginning of this stream, someone who I knew online for goddamn almost 11 years at this point passed away recently, so I'm not in the best frame of mind, and this stream mostly serves as a way for me to kind of escape the difficult emotions surrounding that. which is working. I mean, ranting about chuds online has been pretty effective so far at keeping my mind off of that. Everything is woke according to these conservative gamer types. I put gamer around like fucking 20 quotes because, again, these people almost certainly don't actually give a rat's ass about video games. These people probably weren't even planning to play the Thousand Year Door. They just want something to be mad at so they can drive up engagement on their YouTube channel or their Twitter profile. They really want that fucking, like, what, 8 cents they'll get from their tweet, outrage farming, trying to farm outrage. Twitter really is just bottom of the barrel at this point. I mean, it has been for a while. This is not really a surprise at all. Even before the Elon takeover, it's not like it was this great fucking site. But, now you have all these blue checks trying to, farm outrage because they want engagement. And again, like fucking 10 cents or some shit, however, whatever pitiful amount of money Elon will throw at them. And every tweet, or at least every, tweet that, is popular, you scroll down to the replies, and 9 times out of 10, you'll get the dumbest fucking takes because only the dumbest people would pay for Twitter. Or, you also get bot spam, like, bots saying, my pussy in bio, join my OnlyFans, which I have no problem with sex work, which I've made clear in the past. But, these aren't real people. It's just porn bots trying to, linking you to probably malware or some shit. It's just a fucking hellhole that I look at less and less as time goes on. I don't think I've even looked at Twitter at all in the past, like, I don't know, near 24 hours. Woke is such a buzzword. Yeah, I mean, what the fuck does the word even mean? This is woke. That is woke. What do you mean by woke? Do you not like minorities receiving representation in media? Well, no, I just don't like forced diversity, but what does that even fucking mean? They did the same thing over Warhammer recently. Well, I've heard the Warhammer community is also pretty fucking bad, or at least has a very toxic um, sector within the community. Can I get a ooh yeah, daddy? Well, you just got it. You're welcome, I suppose. Hope no one clips that out of context. I think Jeremy, aka the Quartering, had to take down his video regarding the topic because he got shit on completely. He got shit on completely wrong due to not knowing what he's talking about. Yeah, I've heard that the Quartering supposedly made a video about the topic. Someone posted the thumbnail to his video, and I wasn't even sure if the video was real because a bunch of people were saying they weren't seeing the video on his channel. But that's funny if true, that he actually took it down. You would think he wouldn't, because these types of people don't give a shit about being accurate. Again, they just want to find something to be mad at and find something that makes their audience mad as well, because again, outrage farming over the dumbest shit boosts your engagement. Speaking of the term woke, my grandmother didn't know what it meant. Well, I wouldn't think most people who are elderly would even know the word woke. I think I've said this before, but my mom was once called woke just because by some fucking janitor that used to work at her job that is long gone at this point, probably for the better, I'd imagine. And I think she just said she doesn't support Trump or something because the guy was a Trumper and he was talking about politics on the job, which might be part of why he got canned. And I think he was complaining about woke ideology and called her woke, which is amusing, I suppose. Because after that happened, when she came home, my mom was like, "What is woke? What's a woke?" That's literally what she said. What's a woke? And that made me laugh. The gamer chuds were previously mad over the catcalling to Goombella and the prologue being removed and Mario's salute pose being cut. Yeah. I heard something about that too, which I mean I don't really fucking care. Those are such minute bullshit things that, unless they're really looking at something to be mad at, you wouldn't even know these kinds of things were removed. Yeah, I really can't give a fuck less if game devs want to cut out catcalling from their game. It's like around the time the Resident Evil 4 remake released. People were mad that Luis didn't say to Ashley anymore. I see that the president equipped his daughter with ballistics too, and there's a close-up shot of Ashley's tits, and that when he says that, and that was removed from the remake. And I'm like, wow, a grown man saying an unwanted, sexually charged remark to someone who is barely out of their teen years, who doesn't appreciate said sexually charged remark, was removed from the remake. Wow, I'm totally crying over the removal of that. Probably because she doesn't have a Facebook account. I have a Facebook account, but I haven't looked at that. I haven't even logged into that since, I don't know, 2017. Maybe a little more recent than that, but yeah, it's been years since I logged into my Facebook account, and I'm fine with staying off that site, honestly. No interest in using Facebook. I mean, technically I use Facebook because I use Instagram. That's how I keep in touch with a lot of friends I met in high school. But I don't really actually post on Instagram all that much. I mostly just message friends on there. No, I was never really the biggest, outside of YouTube, of course, and Discord. Never really the biggest social media guy. I never regularly posted on Twitter. I can go like weeks without posting on Blue Sky. But yeah, Facebook, yeah, I have no interest in using that fucking hellhole. It's about as bad as Twitter. Have you heard of Daniel Larson? I don't know who Daniel Larson is. Someone made a copium meme with Beldum. Yeah, I saw that. I think someone posted that in my server. Maybe it was you. I will never use Twitter again. Yeah, that's probably for the best because again, you're just gonna find the most bottom of the barrel trash on that website. Again, just blue checks trying to farm outrage, blue checks with the dumbest fucking takes ever, porn bots. Like what? it's not even fucking worth checking that site out anymore because you know you're just gonna encounter the dumbest shit ever. Hello, Eco Punk. How you doing? Also saw you followed me back on Blue Sky, Mikey. Thanks. I thought that was pretty cool. Yeah, I saw that you followed me, and I was like, oh, I know who this person is. May as well follow them back. There's a porn bot known as Dakota Gray who disguises their tweets as normal replies and even uses hashtags and emojis to seem legit. Didn't Elon say that he was gonna do something about the porn bots? That no surprise that ended up being bullshit. Wasn't that one of the biggest things he was talking about when he first acquired Twitter too? I'm gonna do something about the bot spam. 2 years later, the bot spam is the worst it has ever been on that site. And I know he thinks the only solution seems to be to make people pay for Twitter, or at least that's the idea he's been floating around for a while at this point. And I say, honestly, you know what? Fuck it. Put Twitter behind a paywall. Let the site just die. It would make people finally go over to alternatives. Remember when people freaked the fuck out over a trans person being on one bottle of Bud Light / piss water? Yeah, Dylan Mulvaney. The funny thing is, I would not even know who the fuck Dylan Mulvaney is if conservatives didn't freak the fuck out over every little fucking thing she does. Dylan Mulvaney was on this Bud Light advertisement or on a Bud Light bottle. Gotta freak out over that. Dylan Mulvaney said this thing that we disagree with. Gotta freak out about that. Dylan Mulvaney just breathed. Gotta get mad about that, you know. I swear to God, everything I have heard about Dylan Mulvaney was completely against my will. Because she's like some Instagram influencer or some shit. I mean, I use Instagram, but I don't fucking pay attention to that sphere. Again, I just use Instagram to talk to my friends. I don't fucking follow the influencer scene on there or anything, or Instagram models or whatever the fuck. I don't give a shit about that. So, you know, I'm not in tune with that community on Instagram at all. So I wouldn't. So again, without these conservatives always freaking the fuck out over every little fucking thing Dylan Mulvaney says and does, I wouldn't even know she fucking existed. So good going, conservatives. Good going. 99.9% of people who use woke up on ironically have no clue what it means. It's funny how woke is a buzzword, considering how it used to mean simply being aware of injustices in the world. Yeah, I mean, I remember I used to be really hard-nosed and be against people using woke as a pejorative. I mean, I'm still against that, but, you know, I remember some years ago I made a video talking about the complete bastardization of that word. And, you know, how it used to mean being aware and caring about things such as racial inequality and such. And I really didn't like seeing that word be tarnished. But now at this point, I mean, the word has been just abused to fucking death. At this point, these people just completely reappropriated the word to mean whatever we don't like relating to LGBT people or people of color. Catcalling is gross, creepy, and needs to be phased out of society. Yeah, it really says a lot about these people who get really upset that, you know, catcalling and other gross shit and gross remarks of the sort are being cut out of media. I can't even think of a situation where catcalling isn't disgusting. Well, I mean, it is. That's because catcalling is really fucking disgusting. Why are some of the people claiming that the LGBT community are groomers end up being creeps themselves? Because it's projection, you know? They themselves are creepy fucks. They themselves have very inappropriate thoughts when it comes to minors, and they can't come to grips with that and receive the help they need. I mean, to an extent, I can't really blame them because, the way people the perception around people having these sorts of thoughts is obviously really really taboo, and people can have trouble you know receiving the proper help they need when it comes to these thoughts. But you know a lot of these people cope by labeling other people as groomers and pedophiles and such, because they just want to feel a little bit better about themselves. They don't want to think of themselves as the creep, so they just project who they are onto other people. I post on my Instagram sometimes, but I don't post on there as much as I used to when I was a teenager. As for Facebook, I deleted that shit in 2019. Maybe I should just outright delete my Facebook account because I don't fucking use it. It's been at least 7 years since I last used Facebook. It's just sitting there dormant, and I have no plans of ever using it again because, again, fuck Facebook. But I don't really care all that much, though. I don't care enough to actually go through with deleting it. And maybe it's a nice time capsule too, because there's a bunch of really old videos and photos on my Facebook account that I don't know if I have stored on my phone. Speaking of old videos, just recently I was browsing through my 3DS, my old 3DS XL. Never got the new 3DS because even all these years later, I think the new 3DS was pretty fucking stupid. Anyway, I was browsing through my 3DS and looking through the old photos and videos I have on there, and I found this really old video that I completely forgot I made back in 2015. What was the exact date? I've since saved it onto my phone. I have a little SD card adapter for my iPhone, and I transferred the video onto my phone. Uh, Recorded August 13th, 2015. It's a 30-second video of me saying the 3DS camera sucks. Scalding hot take, I know. And I intended to upload it onto YouTube, but I just never did. I either just completely forgot about it, or I don't know, maybe I misplaced my SD card adapter, and whenever I found it, I completely forgot about this video. But I uh I have the video saved on my phone now. I transferred it onto my laptop, and since next Friday will mark 10 years since I uploaded the first video onto this channel, I might actually upload that video on here. Maybe not the day of, maybe the day before, the day after, because I do want to upload a video acknowledging the 10-year anniversary. But yeah, I also plan on releasing that video sometime. The 3DS video. Again, don't expect much. It's only like 30 seconds long, and all I say in the video is the 3DS camera sucks. I also show Charlie in the video, so that's something too. It's just me sitting in my kitchen. A bit of a blast to the past, though, because blast from the past because there was years before my the entire downstairs of my house got completely renovated. We had major renovation on the downstairs of my house like 3 years ago, and it was cool to see a video of my kitchen from before that renovation. Seeing how it used to look. Where did I leave off? I don't even know where this tangent came from. I'm alright. It's good. I maybe go on Facebook like once a day. Well, it's definitely still a lot more than probably some of the other people here. Fox News talked about Dylan Mulvaney over 347 times after the promo she did. At least 347 times. That means someone was keeping count. I can't even imagine fucking paying that much attention to Fox News and actually counting how many times they decided to target a trans person. Yeah, I didn't know anything about Dylan Mulvaney until people started outrage farming over her and Bud Light. It's been a year since that shit went down, or at least I think it's been a year, and I'm assuming everyone has forgotten about that at this point and went straight back to drinking their piss water. Well, I don't know. I've never actually drank Bud Light. I have no plans to, because I don't plan on ever drinking alcohol. Well, maybe not never, but I don't really have much interest in drinking alcohol at the moment. But my dad was a really heavy drinker back in the day, and he told me like a few years ago, if you ever start drinking, avoid Bud Light. Not because of the Dylan Mulvaney shit, obviously. He said this before all that went down, but because he said it tastes fucking horrible. It's bottom of the barrel trash. But when I went to a family gathering on my father's side a few years ago, so many of them were drinking Bud Light. Because a lot of people on my dad's side of the family are like, well, this might be a little mean considering their family, but I don't even really know a lot of them, so whatever. White trash, conservative, anti-vax people. I remember hearing a lot about a lot of anti-vax shit from that side of the family in 2021 when I started getting back in touch with with that side of the family. I have an uncle whose son is a cop, and he has this big thin blue line flag in front of his house. Well, a big pole in front of his house, and it has the thin blue line flag hanging on it. Yeah, I have a cousin who's a cop. Sad, I know, but whatever. I haven't spoken to that cousin in years. That cousin of mine who's a cop, though, I did see him at another family gathering we had. It was 2021. I was sitting with my dad on the front porch, and that cousin was also sitting there. And at one point, I heard I heard that cousin watching YouTube on his phone, and I swear to God, it sounded like Tim Pool's voice on the phone. So he was really big, I'm sure, into the conservative media sphere. Not really surprising though, considering he is a cop. They changed the URL of Twitter. Yeah, I heard about that. Still gonna call it Twitter though, because only the dumbest fucking people refer to X. Refer to it as X. I mean, is there anyone outside of like hardcore Elon meat slobbers who actually call the site X? Even a lot of blue checks I've seen still call the site Twitter because it's such an iconic name. That bird logo is one of the first logos you think of when you think of social media titans. It's been so ingrained in people's minds and in pop culture. I mean, Twitter even had its own terminology. You didn't call posts posts, you called them tweets. So like all the fucking life and character and uniqueness of that site went out the fucking window with that rebrand. I just got a Discord message. Who the fuck is this? Hey, how are you? They're on a server I don't post in, so it's probably someone who is either a bot or someone who wants to hack me. So goodbye. I get that sometimes. It's just these random Discord messages from people who I've never fucking spoken to, who share a server I have never posted in or haven't even looked at in years. That's totally not nefarious at all or suspicious at all. Ironically, my new 3DS aged worse than any other DS handheld I've ever owned. Really? What is it just more prone to like is it more prone to like getting damaged or whatever than other DS models? I never owned a new 3DS. I got an OG 3DS on the day it launched, and then I got a 3DS XL as a surprise birthday present a few years later in 2014, I think. But I never cared about the new 3DS. I remember making some videos way back in the day. These videos are still up, probably, ranting about the new 3DS and how pointless it is or was. And I remember people getting upset at me for that, saying, no, the new 3DS has these cool new features that no one really fucking cares about. And oh, it'll have exclusive games. It only had like what? 2 exclusive games, maybe? Yeah. All these years later, I stick by what I said in those videos. Also, I'm taking a quick tolerance break from weed right now just because why not? Yeah, why not? If you feel like you need a break, then more power to you. I'm not a regular smoker by any means, or I don't really do edibles either all that much. Now, if I want to get high, I prefer smoking it as opposed to eating it, eating edibles. Nintendo really does not want to move on to the next generation. Well, the Switch 2, its existence at least has been confirmed by Nintendo. They put out a tweet like, I don't know, a week ago saying we're saying we're not gonna be talking about the Switch 2 until next fiscal year or something. Which was really odd because they tweeted that on like a random weekday on like 4 in the morning. But it was confirmation that the Switch 2 does exist, so that's something at least. I have no clue if I'll get it at launch day or close to launch. But I'll definitely have it someday. I turned 21 on April 28th and will never drink because my father is an alcoholic. Yeah, I mean, a lot of people on my father's side of the family have struggled with alcohol addiction, so that's what makes it very, very unsavory to me. That's why I don't really have any interest in drinking alcohol. I mean, I remember taking a sip of wine at some family gathering, like, I don't know, 10 years ago because it was because I think my mom was like, try it, take a sip. I, I don't remember what kind of wine it was. I just remember not being a fan of the taste. Oh yeah, but happy belated birthday. Christopher St. Booth uploaded a TikTok showing the making of Ulterior Motives. Has that guy found the original vocal track yet? Because last I heard, he got a whole bunch of boxes containing really old material, really old portions of tracks he worked on, spanning back to the 80s. I know he's been trying to find the original vocal track. Otherwise, he'll try to recreate the vocals in the remake or remaster, whatever. I know he's found at least parts of the instrumental, like I think the drums and the bass and such. I think the guitar track is being re-recorded though. Still looking forward to hearing it. It's not going to be 1-to-1 the same song, which I guess some people are upset about that. But I mean, the song is what, fucking almost 40 years old now, and I'm sure the guy long forgot about the song until last month. I'm just I'm just happy he has at least some bits and pieces of the original track still in his possession. But it's been really nice seeing that guy finally get the notoriety he deserves or deserved, because that track is a banger. Well, I mean, considering the scene it was played over, it's probably quite literally a banger. But yeah, no, that track was actually pretty good. I just wish, I could hear a version of it that doesn't have, sex noises and moaning over it. But I think some people have, at least to the best of their ability, re- released like versions of that song with that stuff cleaned out. And if we can't get an official remaster of the song, if we can't find the original vocals, I'm sure someone will work their magic and make a, will be able to make a really, really good remaster of the song, fan made one that does a good job of cleaning that out. Where was the last message I read? Lost my place. This is what I fucking get for taking so long reading or answering rather every fucking message in the chat, because I tend to go on tangents a lot with like every goddamn message, and I I I have no shame over that. Better than just generic one-word answers to every message. I prefer smoking weed over drinking. Yeah, I mean, getting drunk doesn't sound that fun to me either. Getting high though, yeah, that shit's nice most of the time, at least. Oof. I don't know what that's in reference to. Bud Light is gross, beer is gross, drinking is fun in moderation, but it's barely worth it. I had fun drinking when I turned 21, but stopped soon after due to liver issues. Oof, I hope you're alright. Yeah, again, all the health complications that can come from drinking, especially excessive drinking, just makes me want to stay the fuck away from alcohol. Again, like you said, in moderation, it's fine, whatever. But I'm just, after witnessing so many people on my father's side of the family struggle with alcohol addiction, it's just something I'd rather. It's just something I'd rather just stay away from altogether. I'm not going to be hard nosed and say, no, you shouldn't drink at all because what the fuck am I, your dad? But, just if you want to drink, drink, but, just be careful. Do it in moderation. And don't drive after drinking. Fucking hell. That's something I have no problem sounding like a dad over. There's too many idiots, especially in this country, have no regard for human safety, human life, and will get fucking shit faced and start driving. I'm happy my family took COVID seriously. My family took COVID very seriously, especially at the beginning when my grandmother was still alive. We were very scared of her catching it because she already had a horrible cough. Unfortunately, we found out it was cancer too late, but she was already sick by that point, so we didn't want her catching COVID on top of that. We initially thought she had tuberculosis, but ended up being very aggressive cancer that took out all the growth that was around her lungs, and then like a day later, all of that shit came back. So that's when we knew there was no hope of her beating cancer this time around, because she did beat cancer one other time in the early 2000s, in 2004, 2005, I think. I was very little. I only have vague memories of her, you know, having cancer. I've heard news outlets call it X. 9 times out of 10, when a news outlet refers to Twitter, they write X and then in parentheses, formerly Twitter, which I find so funny. Even almost a year after Twitter rebranded, I still see sites doing that. Because that's what happens when you kill brand recognition, when you completely kill brand recognition. Because what's the more memorable name, Twitter or X? Again, one name you've long associated with a social media website, a very popular social media website that has been ingrained in people's minds, that has been ingrained in our, I guess, culture. And then all of a sudden it's rebranded into just a singular letter that a lot of people associate with porn. Like, it's no surprise that people who aren't as tuned in would be confused and be like, wait, what the fuck site is X? Is it a porn site? And Twitter Blue was renamed to X Premium, wasn't it? I find that so funny too. I'd imagine most of the people who pay for Twitter are like 50-year-old conservatives. So when I think of X Premium, I think of some dude's fucking wife looking over their payment history and being like, what the fuck is X Premium? Is he paying for a hookup site or some shit? No, no, no. It used to be Twitter. You don't understand. Uh, Have you heard eToy made an official mother website? Oh, did he? I figured we've already had an official mother website for a long time. I just never really bothered to look. Mother website. Oh, this isn't what I was looking for. I just saw the words homepage mother. I clicked on that, and all of a sudden I got a picture of a baby being breastfed. Let me add in Nintendo. I'll look for it later, whatever. Elon is a total tool. Yeah, that's exactly how I would describe him. If you had one word to describe Elon, tool would definitely be near the top of the list of things I'd call him. People I know still call it Twitter. Everyone I know calls it Twitter still. People I know online, people I know in real life, my family. I don't know anyone, again, outside of people just slobbering Elon's dick 24/7, who calls it X. I remember in the early days of Twitter, they had an error page with a whale when the site crashed or was overloaded with traffic. Well, I only started using Twitter in like 2016, which certainly wasn't the early days of the site. I think it was already 10 by then, so I don't remember any page with a whale. I also only used it on my phone on top of that back then. Yeah, I don't trust messages like that either. I got one message like that, and they asked me about a project they were working on. The messages were later deleted, indicating they were probably hacked. Well, here's how I am. If I get a message from someone out of the blue and I don't know who that person is, I don't respond. I just close the DM conversation or block the person. Because I know better than to just blindly trust a stranger on Discord being like, "Hey, how you doing?" Or, "Hey, I'm working on this project. Want to help? Hey, click on this shady ass link that totally won't lead you to some kind of fucking site that compromises your data." Especially since, someone who I know on Discord got hacked recently. Someone, in Justin's server. I got a message from their hacked account being like, and they were saying something like, "Hey, how you doing?" or some shit like that. Or, "I need help with something." I don't remember exactly. Either way, I knew the account was hacked, so I didn't engage. All I did was just block the account. The thought of getting hacked on YouTube, though, is way more fucking scary. I've noticed that's been happening to a lot of channels lately. They get hacked by some fucking crypto scammer, and then that said scammer uses that channel to live stream people talking about Bitcoin or whatever. Well, usually like Elon Musk or Jack from Twitter. And there have been many cases where if you're not big enough, there's a chance you're not getting your channel back because Google can't give a fuck less. It's very hard to get in touch with a real person about, troubles they're having on YouTube. So, God willing, nothing like that ever happens to me. Have you heard of Tyler Oliveira? He is a journalist with no experience who spreads misinformation about places and using AI in the video thumbnail. I don't believe I've heard of this person, but that sounds really fucking scummy. Also, I heard on Twitter there's also this big problem where if you go on the trending tab, or the explore tab rather, I don't know if this still is a thing because I'm not getting it right now, but there used to be like a banner that that was supposed to tell you, like, what's the biggest trending thing on Twitter, and it used an AI algorithm, and I think one time that banner said World War III is happening or some shit like that, because it's an AI and it just fucking takes in whatever fucking stupid ass tweet to use for its algorithm. There's a movie called Food Fight that came out in 2012 that's known as the worst animated movie ever. But the plot is the supermarket it's in is being taken over by Brand X products. Yeah, I heard of that movie. I remember watching people like Nostalgia Critic rip on that movie like, I don't know, 12 years ago or whatever. I never actually watched the movie though. Not very interested in watching that movie, to be honest. But yeah, I remember people making jokes about that around the time Twitter first rebranded into X. People were referencing that movie. It was amusing. Regarding the new 3DS, the paint was way more brittle, especially on the special edition models. The circle pad on my new 3DS was completely snapped from the board underneath, and I merely had my console tucked away in a case for it, so it's not like I never cared for the thing. Yeah. I was wondering if it was just a matter of you not properly taking care of the new 3DS, or it was just, or the 3DS really was just um, not in the best quality. But no, that sucks. I mean, my my regular 3DS XL, that thing is in perfectly fine condition. Now, granted, it's not a special edition 3DS XL or anything. It's just the regular black one, but it's still in pretty good condition. My OG 3DS is still in pretty good condition too. And I like the design of the OG 3DS. It had that cool glossy finish on it, which I kind of wish that carried over into other models, but whatever. And I used to drop that thing all the time. I did not take care of that 3DS when I first got it, but it never received any noticeable damage. Because back then, Nintendo products were like fucking tanks. That was my phone I just knocked on, which is an Apple product, not a Nintendo product, but whatever. Said thumbnails tend to depict minority groups such as black people as thugs or destructive. Well, I know to steer clear from that channel if I ever encounter it. And someone commented the movie predicted Elon turning Twitter into X. I don't know if the movie necessarily predicted that, but yeah, it's still a funny coincidence. I like to take half a gummy first for an hour. Are you talking about weed gummies or just regular gummies? I like both. I have to go for a gummy right now. Speaking of that, I don't have any in my house though, currently. I remember watching a Go Animate rant about Food Fight like 9 years ago. Oh god. I don't know what's worse, watching Food Fight or a Go Animate rant video. Are those even still a thing? Go Animate videos? I haven't bothered to even fucking look up that kind of content in years because I'm an adult and I have no interest in watching bottom of the barrel animation, quote unquote. It was a fucking click and drag website. It wasn't real animation or watching, made by like an 8-year-old grounding Caillou or some shit. But do people still make that kind of content? I'm surprised No Go Anime Kids didn't make a grounded video about you. Maybe they have. I don't know. I never fucking bothered to check. I never looked up shit on YouTube like Mikey grounded or some shit. Maybe if I did, I'd find some. No clue. But I can't give a fuck less to find out. It'd be kind of amusing though if someone actually did make a video like that about me. I think he's still looking for it. He also mentioned he'd remaster it if he can't find it. Yeah, that's what I heard. He'd completely redo the vocals if he can't find the original vocal track. Again, I do really hope he is able to find the original vocal track because I do want to listen to that song without all the fucking moaning and bed creaking and sex sounds from the original scene because the song was found in a porn movie. It was made for a porn movie. Well, actually, I don't know if it was made for a porn movie. I think I remember the Christopher saying that it was actually a song that was intended to be a pop single, but he needed the money, so he allowed this porn movie to use the song, and that's been the only thing that song has ever appeared in. Never actually got an official commercial release. But again, if you can't find it, whatever, no pressure. I'm sure someone will make their own fan-made remaster that'll be sufficient enough. And I would actually be interested in listening to a more modern take on the song. I don't doubt that if he does have to remake the vocals, it wouldn't. I don't think I'm not going to immediately assume it'll be garbage or anything of the sort. Dreams Forever, formerly known as Love. I suck at foreign words. Was recently found. Yeah, I heard something about that. I've heard that a lot of lost songs have been found recently, and it's nice. I don't I'm not like I do have a interest in lost media, but I'm not like someone who religiously follows this stuff. So I only just in a lot of these cases, unless it's something very high profile, like everyone knows that, or now known as ulterior motives. I usually first hear about these songs when they're found, and had no clue that they were being searched. My liver is good, by the way. It healed after I lost weight and stopped drinking. It was keeping me from transitioning as well, so it was super troubling. Well, I'm glad that you're able to kick excessive drinking and it's improved your life substantially. It's good to hear. I don't even drive while high on weed, so I definitely not want to drink and drive. Well, driving while high is also really bad too. No one should be doing that. My grandma gave me $20 today. That's nice. Actually, that reminds me. Yesterday, my uncle went to the store and he found a $5 bill on the ground. He was really gleeful about that. He was like, "Holy shit!" When I was at the bus stop earlier, I found this $5 bill on the ground. Isn't that lucky? And I was like, "Yeah, that's cool." Be really lucky if he found something like $100 bill or some shit on the ground, but $5 is cool too. God damn it! I can't believe you fell for that. Wait, fell for what? Huh? Again, I spend way too much time on each message, so any message referencing what I said maybe like 10 minutes ago or referencing some other message, uh, I won't even fucking know what you're talking about, so I, I don't know what you're referring to. I heard Game Explained was hacked a while back after falling to a sponsorship scam. Yeah, there's just a lot of fucking Again, it's kind of scary because I've been hearing a lot more cases of channels getting hacked, and even like high profile creators having trouble getting their channel back because again, Google can't give a shit less. If something like that ever happened to my channel, I might be fucked. Because if Google can't be fucked to give someone who has like 100K subscribers or more the time of day, why would they give a fuck about someone who only has 7,000? But I don't get anything like sponsorship deals or anything because one, I am completely irrelevant. So why the fuck would anyone care about having me sponsor their products? And two, I don't monetize my videos either. I'm part of the partner program, but I've never monetized my videos. I don't put ads on them, or at least I don't put ads that I'll make money off of. If YouTube does put ads on my videos, then that's not my doing because I usually have that turned off. But I do hear that sometimes YouTube does put ads on videos that um, either have the ads disabled or aren't monetized because YouTube just wants to generate more money for themselves. And I don't even bother with monetization. I mean, one, I wouldn't even be making that much money off of my videos anyway. Maybe it'd be a nice little side thing. I don't know. Maybe make like I don't know, like maybe $30 a month or some shit at most. Maybe even that's being generous. But two, I know I would get demonetized out the ass because of all the excessive cursing in my content. If I were to ever monetize my videos, I wouldn't even care about censoring myself because it just sounds like so much of a fucking hassle. You see all these creators these days using euphemisms or bleeping out their curses, or maybe not even bleeping out because I heard even bleeping out your fucking curses can get you demonetized too. So they use these stupid euphemisms or trying to use replacement words and such. That's just not my style. I'm a very straightforward person. I want to be as authentic as possible on this channel, and I am a person who, well, when I'm not speaking to family at least, curses excessively. I talk like this with my friends and, a bunch of other people, even strangers. So, I'd rather not fucking go through the trouble of censoring myself. Yeah, it's kind of crazy that people still fall for these sponsorship scams, though, with how prevalent they are. For example, Tyler came to Canada to exploit the opioid crisis in Vancouver and and filmed a man having an overdose without their consent. Oh my fucking god, that is terrible. It's so fucking crazy how devoid of empathy and just basic human decency so many people online are just for the sake of receiving clicks. Like you don't even have the decency to not film someone going through a fucking overdose without their consent for the sake of monetizing the video, generating views. Fuck off. Like you're just I hope you don't fucking delude yourself into thinking you're a good person because you are not if you do shit like that. Get that rat out of Canada. Get that rat out of this planet. And Tyler accused and harassed a random local business for apparently capitalizing off of the drug epidemic. That's ironic because they sold weed pipes, bongs, and rolling papers. Yeah. Yeah, they're totally the ones who are fucking exploiting or capitalizing off of the drug epidemic when you're the one fucking filming people overdosing without anyone's permission. Go Animate videos are still a thing, though the site rebranded to Beyond. People have also made offline clones to recreate the classic themes. Oh, I keep forgetting that site, or Go Animate rather, rebranded. Go Animate is just kind of a catchier name than Beyond. I remember years ago using an app called, what was it, Octagon or whatever the fuck, to make some like 5-second shit post video. Plotagon, it was. Plotagon. I never used that app again. Maybe I should make another shit post on that app one of these days. Maybe. Sorry if my messages are not the cleanest. Watching the stream while cleaning up a mess made by my pets. Haven't had the best day, but I'm super happy to be here chatting in this live stream. Yeah, that's fine. I mean, your messages are coherent enough, so I have no issues with your messages in the chat. Hope you feel better, though. I once found a $50 bill outside the water park / recreation center in my town. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, I've never had anything like that happen to me. I've never even found $1 on the ground. I'd hope to find a bag that has like $10,000 in it someday. Can that happen to me, please? That's what I like about watching Mikey ad-free. Well, that's good. YouTube never slapped ads on my videos without my consent then. Because again, I've heard they've been doing that, or at least they've had ideas about doing that. Yeah, I also have the principle that, you know, I fucking hate ads online in general. I use ad block. I have YouTube Premium. I don't care. Make fun of me for that all you fucking want. Whatever. I have a legitimate reason to use YouTube Premium. You could listen to videos in the background of your phone, and I use a white noise video to sleep. And I can't. If I didn't have YouTube Premium, I wouldn't be able to lock my phone and have that play at the same time. So, you know, it's one legit reason to have YouTube Premium. But anyways, I have this principle where I don't like advertisements online, so I won't have people who watch my videos also have to suffer through a fucking ad too. It's my own courtesy from me to my audience and just whoever watches my videos. It's okay. You don't need to monetize your videos. I'll just donate to you whenever I have the spare cash and end your live. Well, thank you. No pressure if you have no cash to spare. I don't want your money if you don't have any to give. Now is not one of those times, though. I have to save for a pony convention in a couple of months. You mean going to a convention is more important than watching me stream once a month? I'm joking. Also, I prefer calling you Michael or Mikey because my older brother has the same name as you, but we call him Mike. He once threatened to beat the shit out of me when I was 12 and he was 22. What the fuck? Why? I mean, I'm sure nothing you did would have justified him saying that to you, but did you do something to piss him off? Again, that's not a justification to threaten to beat the shit out of a child, but still, I just kind of wonder why he'd say that. But I was named after my dad. His name is Michael as well. But everyone calls him Mike, like your brother. And like I said in that half joke video some months ago, I used to love being called Mikey when I was a kid. My dad told me I'm gonna grow out of that nickname someday, and I was like, no, I like being called Mikey. I'll continue to like being called Mikey into adulthood. Here I am, 23 years old. I've been waiting to let that out. And I prefer being called Michael, at least from people in real life. You know, I don't care if someone online calls me Mikey because that's half of my YouTube name after all. But when it comes to people I meet in real life, I prefer just being called Michael. And my dad really hated being called Mikey when he was growing up. I actually did ask him the reason for that a few months ago, and without going into too much detail, because it's really none of the business of people just watching me on a live stream. But the short of it is my grandfather, my father's father. Well, he died like 20 years before I was born, and my father was like 9 years old. But my grandfather used to call my father Michael when he was alive. I mean, not Michael, Mikey when he was alive. And let's just say my grandfather was a very monstrous person who wasn't the best to my father or my grandmother, and especially my aunts. So that's why he has a lot of disdain for that name, for that nickname, a lot of trauma surrounding that name. And he kind of projected those feelings he has about that nickname onto me when I was a kid. Hey Michael, I've been watching you since I was 11. I'm 19 now. Wow. Yeah, it's always fucking crazy when people tell me, "Oh, I've been watching you since I was a kid." Here I am. I'm an adult now, and I'm still watching you. It's always really nice to hear and flattering. Again, next Friday is going to be 10 years since the first video on this channel was uploaded. It's just it's just wild to me that I'm still doing this. And I've had people from time to time, I think in some live streams in the past, or they've randomly commented on a video of mine, and they're like, "Wow, I remember you from back in the day. You're still making videos. Figured you were long gone by this point." And I was like, "No, I'm still around, doing what I was doing 10 years ago. Still, you're the one who disappeared, not me." I thought for sure I would get bored with making videos like just a few months into making videos on this channel. Hell, I planned for my last video on this channel to be the one where I showcased me being unbanned on Miiverse, because I thought for sure I'd be more careful and not get any more reports on Miiverse. Well, that didn't fucking happen. But I just ended up, finding a lot of joy in making these videos. And, evidently people enjoy watching me. So, it just never stopped being fun for me 10 years later. My roommate is a Minecraft YouTuber with 100K plus subs. The first bit of the year, they made no money because of their thumbnails. Because one of their thumbnails had a block gun in it, and they said Adderall. YouTube is fucking ridiculous like that. Like, they'll demonetize you over like the most inconsequential shit. It's frustrating, and it's frustration I don't want to deal with. That's cool though. They're able to amass over 100,000 subscribers though. Navigating the YouTube monetization system is dumb. Yep, again, it's a frustration that I do not want anything to do with. I'll just take voluntary donations from people who watch my live streams every once in a blue moon, and that's it. I am very uncomfortable in this position right now. This is a Game Boy shirt, even though I have never owned this specific Game Boy, the OG model. Well, I do have a Game Boy player right here for my GameCube, but no, I've never actually owned a real Game Boy model, though. Well, the Game Boy player is pretty much a GBA. Has the same internals. I've been watching you since I was 10. I'm almost 18. Wow, yeah. Again, it's wild. I was washing my hot rod car, listening to the video of the Kansas thing. That's crazy. They better not spread that all over the U.S. You referring to my video where I talk about Kansas requiring ID verification for LGBT content? If you are, then yeah, that is fucking crazy and very draconian. If we do get another Trump term, do not be surprised if at the very least there are serious efforts to try to make shit like that spread all over this country. I'm sorry, I'm trying to move my fan. I don't know if the fan is blowing into the mic at all. A while back, this guy called Johnny Somali went to Japan and made jokes about Fukushima and the atomic bombings during World War II. Oh well, that's very tasteless. Do YouTubers just like go into Japan to just fucking be disrespectful pieces of shit like Logan Paul, who did that vlog in the forest that's notorious for a lot of suicides and film a dead body? And he was like, "Oh God, look at the dead body! Isn't that so tragic?" While I upload this video that's guaranteed to get like 10 million views and rake in a lot of money for me. Sorry, I got a text I was responding to. A person who was texting me. To be fair, Plotagon looks more pleasant to the eyes than Go Animate. I suppose so. I don't know. I've only used that app once and I never used it again. I made a little 5-second shit post called Masterpiece or whatever like 8 years ago on it. I don't remember that looking the best either. Hey, apparently new Doom is being announced soon, titled Doom Dark Ages. Kinda hyped for it. Well, I only play on a PlayStation, I don't have a competent PC, and I don't have an Xbox, so I'll be missing out on that game. Well, at least for, I don't know, whenever. Maybe Microsoft will release it multi-plat eventually, like they've been doing with a lot of other games. That's my one hope. That's the thing that makes me salty the most about Microsoft acquiring all of these third-party publishers. No Doom for me, probably. Because I loved 2016 and Eternal. Just the thought of probably not getting the next Doom game just really saddens me. I hate commercials entirely. They're always an interruption for me, no matter the ad/commercial. Yeah, I don't really find any commercials or ads that entertaining. It's all just vapid bullshit that wants to sell you a product. I was never really one to be like, "Oh, look at this funny commercial. Isn't it so entertaining?" No, no. Fuck commercials. Fuck advertisements. Get out of here with your fake, quirky bullshit. That's why I don't really understand these people who watch the Super Bowl just to fucking watch commercials. Like, I don't know. It's just always been something I never understood. My brother isn't really relevant to our family anymore, luckily. What, did your family cut your brother off? How many videos have you deleted or lost count? I don't know how many videos I've deleted exactly. Not that many, though. I mean, I still have 1,300 public videos on this channel. So. I'm not really keen on deleting old content though, like I used to be. I remember in 2020, my political views were first starting to shift. I was like, "Ooh, this vaguely political video didn't really age that well. Let me delete it." And now I'd be like, whatever. I mean, it's a little time capsule that showcases how I felt about a certain topic at a certain point in time. Even if my views are vastly different now compared to then, it's fun to look back, and it's fun to have other people look back and see, how different my views were on a given subject way back when compared to today. Again, well, unless the video was really egregious, though. Like, I'm not going to keep a video where I'm defending the N word and saying the N word hard R left and right up on this channel in 2024. But there are some videos that I have deleted in, recent years that I kind of wish I didn't. Even if what I was saying in the video was cringe, I do like the novelty of having a vast catalog of videos where I speak, where I voice opinions that I don't agree with today. But it's just nice to look back at these videos and see how my views have changed over the years. Because not many people have such a vast archive of previous thoughts and opinions they have had, in the past. Hello, other Mikey. Hello, Mikey. Mikey, how are you doing? Is Mikey Michael Mikey's twin? I'm pretty sure this person has been in my previous streams before. I just find it kind of funny that coincidentally, someone named Mikey is typing in the stream chat of someone named Michael Mikey. Fun little, um, just a fun little coincidence. Any thoughts on the Chicada invasion? I don't even know what that is. Well, I know what a Chicada is, but I don't know what invasion you're referring to specifically. I haven't really been keeping that up. I haven't really been keeping up that much with uh, with news and such lately because of uh, recent tragic events that have occurred. The first video I watched on your channel was your Daddy05 video because it was randomly showed up in my recommendations. Oh, that's how you found me. Thank you, YouTube algorithm, for you know showing my videos to people who would otherwise not know I exist, and they end up being entertained to the point where they subscribe to me and keep up with any video I upload. Imagine how Americans would feel if a bunch of Japanese people were filming shit in America for views. Yeah, this is honestly something we should probably put a cap on. YouTubers going over to foreign countries, disrespecting said country, causing a bunch of shit. It's not entertaining. I don't give a shit about your fucking engagement and your views and any money you might make off of the videos. You're a piece of shit, and what you're doing should be halted. Can't wait for the next YouTube New Year episode you do every year. You're talking about the worst YouTubers' videos? I'm tired, lol. Well, I just woke up a few hours ago, so I am not tired. Did you hear about that state? Make a bum law about furries is so stupid. I don't know what you're talking about. Are there any companies you personally boycott? Me, no. I don't really partake in boycotts all that much. I mean, I don't buy certain products that I am opposed to or I feel are tied to some kind of harm or a person I don't support. Like, I personally chose not to buy that Hogwarts game that came out last year because I'm so vehemently opposed to J.K. Rowling's bigotry, but I'm not going to cut someone off for buying the game or say everyone should follow my lead. It's just a personal decision I made. And then, yeah, I may think, yeah, you probably shouldn't buy the game and put even more money in the pocket of someone who is so vehemently transphobic and pretty much bases their entire fucking personality these days around their transphobia. But at the end of the day, I can't fucking stop you from buying what you want to buy. Yeah, stuff like the Starbucks boycott, though, I don't partake in. Well, I mean, it's not hard for me. It wouldn't be hard for me to boycott Starbucks because I don't drink Starbucks. But but wasn't that whole boycott? Didn't that whole boycott stem from I think a certain some Starbucks employees were making it seem like the whole Starbucks chain was was pro-Palestine when actually Starbucks didn't make a statement about Palestine or didn't actually directly support Israel in any kind of way, and people kind of twisted and distorted that into. And Starbucks didn't like their logo being associated with that because they have never made a direct statement on the conflict. And again, I don't think they actually have any ties to Israel, but and Starbucks put a stop to them using their logo for that, and people kind of twisted that into Starbucks is a hardcore Zionist corporation when I don't think that's the case. Tyler Oliveira is obviously pushing a right-wing political message too. He also recorded random people. Many weren't even addicts and said these people are spending their low-income money on drugs. Yeah, that's also something that's pretty fucking disgusting. You look at people who, aren't in a good financial spot and they may not look the best, and you automatically assume they're drug addicts. That happens with a lot of homeless people. Oh, they must have ended up in this position because they blew their money on drugs. Even if they did, that doesn't mean they don't deserve sympathy, you fucking callous prick. Like, shouldn't we be helping people who suffer from drug addiction rather than just shunning them to the fucking streets and throwing them in a jail cell because they chose to put a harmful substance in their own body? But I've been over this so many goddamn times. Because in Canada, some people with low income get extra income support. Well, I'm fine with that. I had trouble sleeping because of the recent tragedy. Yeah, I mean, it hasn't affected my sleep personally. I have no clue if I have had any dreams related to that because I never remember my dreams, but it's definitely been at the forefront of my mind ever since I heard about the news. I've been listening a lot to the song "A Day in the Life" by the Beatles ever since I heard about, what happened. A lot of the lyrics aren't exactly directly related to what happened. I mean, the song is, about death, or at least is partially about death, but It's mostly the line, "I've read the news today, oh boy," that really resonates with me. The opening line just takes on a whole new meaning for me now. His videos are full of misinformation and, dare I say, mild bigotry. Well, it's definitely bigoted against, well, if I would say it is definitely bigoted content, because I'm sure a person like this would associate, people who have a certain skin color with drug addiction and such. Sorry, I misspelled your videos. Can you do more rants? Those are my favorite videos, and I want to start making those kinds of videos. Isn't like every video I upload a rant? Is that is that not enough? Drug addicts are people too. Also, Tyler titled one of his videos, "This city is full of zombies," because the city was full of drug addicts. Yeah, that's really just really fucked up. Again, I don't support shaming drug addicts at all. One, it's very counterproductive, and two, it's just really fucking gross and callous. Someone's addiction does not make them inhuman. They have an illness they are suffering. They have an ailment they are suffering with. And I think they should receive the help that they need, again, as opposed to, being shunned for their addiction. I need to charge my laptop. I had trouble sleeping last year in the summer because there was this one girl I talked to almost every day and evening. She was a college student and she passed away unknowingly at 22. Oh, damn, I'm really sorry. It's horrible. Yeah, like I said at the beginning of this stream, I personally just had a tragedy happen recently as well. An online friend who I, knew for a very long time recently passed away. I don't know how exactly they passed away. Their partner is choosing to be private regarding that, and I do have my guesses as to what happened, but it's not my place to, throw out speculations, especially on a public live stream. But all that matters is they're gone now, and you know, I have these really difficult emotions that I'm struggling to process with, and it's just overall a very difficult time. Again, partially why I'm doing this stream. Well, I already planned on doing a stream this Friday anyway. Um, like last weekend, I figured I'd do a live stream this Friday, but you know, and then just the other night, I heard about this. I heard about this person passing away, and partially why I'm doing this live stream is to get my mind off of it because it's been something that's just been really, um, eating away um, my thoughts and such. It's something that I'm just having a lot of trouble processing, and it's just something that's really fucking difficult right now. So I'm having trouble. I always have trouble articulating how I feel when it comes to things like this. I'm sorry for your loss. May they rest in peace. I'm very sorry about your loss, man. Yeah. Yeah, thank you. But yeah, it's very hard. Again, I knew this person since the Meverse days. I didn't talk to them all the time on there, but I did know of their existence. We both met because we both watched OBA back in the day, and we talked a little bit on there. So I've known this person since 2013, probably. I've been there. It never gets easier dealing with these sorts of emotions. I really hope you can find some peace of mind soon. I really hope so too, but I still have a lot of trouble coming to grips with my grandmother who died a few years ago, and my cat Charlie who passed away 4 months ago. I know it's gonna take. If I ever do come to grips with this, it's gonna be a very, very long time because I don't do well when it comes to death. And even though this stream is somewhat of a way for me to get away from these feelings for a little bit, it does help to actually verbalize how I feel about this because in my personal life, at least, when it comes to people I live with, I don't have anyone to really talk about this with because everyone I live with is either in their mid 50s or when it comes to my uncle who lives in the basement, they're early 60s. They don't really know much when it comes to having online friends and such. So they may just scoff at the idea of me having an online friend and being so distraught over the death of one of my online friends because they don't really view online friends as, something as important as someone who's your friend in real life. So I don't know if they'd really understand. Although my dad is in his 50s, but he seems a little bit more in tune when it comes to online stuff and such. So I may talk to him about it. I might be talking to him tomorrow. I've been there and already read that. She was in her senior year at the time she passed. I wish I knew what the cause of death was. She passed on the fifth floor of her dorm, according to the Facebook post I've seen. Oh, damn. I actually do know someone who passed away in high school, though they weren't a friend. They were the girlfriend of a friend, and I only spoke to them like a handful of times. Maybe not, maybe like, I don't know, 5 times at most, maybe, because I've seen her at like parties and such, and just passing by in the hallway, saying, "Oh, hey, what's up?" But she died. Her death was completely unexpected. Um, she passed away in her sleep. Turns out she had a heart condition that went completely undetected the entire time she was alive. Isn't that fucking horrifying? And yeah, that was still really difficult, despite me not really knowing her. Because again, I have a friend who was dating her at the time. They were seniors. I was a junior at the time. This was 2018. Actually, the 6 year anniversary is coming up. She died like towards the end of this month. Maybe in a few days it's coming up. I gotta look at her memorial page again. But she, everyone had nothing but nice things to say about her. I just kind of wish I got to know her a little bit more because I've never really said much to her besides just like, "Hi, what's up? How you doing?" Maybe having like a 1 minute conversation at most. But yeah, it's gonna be 6 years soon since she passed, and it's still really difficult for a lot of people I know because some people I know were really close to her. But what happened the other night is the first time I actually lost a friend. I do have a friend who um, had a failed suicide attempt in 2018. So I could have lost him around the same time this the girl I mentioned died. I am. I still talk to a lot. Couldn't imagine losing him back then. He's in a much better frame of mind these days. He received the help he needed, and he still has you know periods where he's depressed and such, but he, at least from what he says, he has no ideation to take his own life. Things are going much better for him these days as opposed to back then, and I'm very happy for him. I just wish we had more of these success stories. Well, it grosses me out. The fact he lives in KN, the same province as me, makes me uneasy. Well, I'm not anywhere near him, so I guess that's something to take solace in. Who was the person that passed recently you were talking to, Mikey? A question I never thought of asking, to be very honest. I'm not going to disclose that because they did have a public presence, but their partner has not gone public with their passing yet, so I'm not going to reveal who it was yet. But there are people in the chat who do know who this person was. So maybe whenever their death does go public, I'll say a few more words about this person in some future live stream, maybe. I have seasonal depression because one year between Thanksgiving and Christmas, I lost my grandfathers on both sides. The holidays haven't been the same since. Oh man, that must be really tough losing two family members during the holiday season. Yeah, and the holiday season, I've heard, is especially tough for people who struggle with mental health issues because it's the time to be jolly, the time where everyone has to be happy because it's the holiday season. Which I've been depressed plenty of times during the holidays, especially the holiday season of 2020. It was the first holiday season after my grandmother passed away, and Christmas is always was always a day that I associated with my grandmother because she really liked Christmas. But thankfully, the first Christmas after she passed, I spent a lot of time with family members like my cousins. My father came down too, which was nice. And, it was that would have been a much more depressing Christmas had that not happened. So I had people around to comfort me and take my mind off of that. You'd be okay. You're a good person. We are here for you. Thank you. I appreciate your kind message. I have an online friend who's from North Carolina. I well, I don't know anyone from the Carolinas. Well, I know. Well, my grandmother, my paternal grandmother, is married to someone who is from, I think, North Carolina, but that's the closest I've ever been to knowing someone who is from Carolina. I've never actually been in Carolina, and that person she's married to hasn't been in Carolina in a very long time. I'm actually thinking I might go and bet. They actually do. They actually do have some plans of maybe going back there sometime soon, though. It's my grandmother who lives down in Florida. I don't know if she'll be in Florida for that much longer, though. I know I'm just some random viewer, and I don't mean to be paradoxical when I say this, but if you have no one to speak to regarding the topic of loss and overcoming the emotions that come with it, I'm here to be a shoulder or a voice. Thank you. I really appreciate that. Um, yeah, it's just, again, this is really the first time I'm actually, speaking out loud how I feel about this situation because all the other you know everyone else I've talked to, I've only spoken to through text, and Now, sometimes it's easier to verbalize how you feel rather than actually just writing it out. At least for me, there's a little bit more, solace I take in actually speaking out loud how I feel about something as opposed to just writing how I feel about something. Hey, hope you're all doing well. Yeah, hope you're doing well too, Tame, in light of the recent events. Hello, Robert. Welcome back. Hello, Sean. R.I.P. Both me and OBA live in Alberta. Oof. All of my grandparents have sadly passed on. Yeah. I lost my great grandmother on my father's side when I was 6. Yeah, she died in 2007. Actually, May of 2007. I think the anniversary of her death just recently passed. I have a picture of her plaque. Let me look at it. Give you the exact date. Uh, Here it is. My great grandmother, she was born January 31st, 1923, and she passed away May 26th, 2007. So 2 days will be 17 years since she passed away. Jesus Christ. I remember her. She wasn't the kindest person to everyone around her, but I was an exception. She was always very sweet to me. We used to like watching TV together because she couldn't really do much because her legs. She couldn't really move her legs that much anymore in her last few years of life. Every time I hear about Alberta, I think of OBA. Well, I don't really know that many people who live in Alberta aside from the other person in this chat, so yeah, I don't really have much other associations with Alberta other than him. My condolences for your loss. Thank you. Well, at the very least, I live far from Lethbridge. OBA was an underrated lolcow when he was still somewhat relevant. I have a lot of family members that passed away. Firstly, my father, then my uncle, my pop, my stepfather, and my grandmother. I miss them all dearly. I'm sorry for your loss. That must be really hard. I still have all of my uncles, and my father's still alive. My father has his own set of issues, but he's a very strong person, able to persevere through a lot of his problems. Thankfully, I'm very thankful to still have him in my life, and I'm glad I got back in touch with him some years ago. I have a lot of family I read that already. I live in rural Georgia. That must be rough. I was rewatching some of OBA's unboxing videos and noticed he didn't black out his name or address on the sticker. Really, that's funny. Ugh, damn. That's why I don't do unboxing videos. I'm afraid of shit like that happening. Since the stream's been going for 2 hours, I'm gonna leave now as to not keep the chat going. Peace out, Mikey. Oh yeah, 2 hours and 4 minutes. I usually end these around the 2 hour and 5 minute mark. I'll finish the stream once I get to the bottom of the chat, which is not far away. By the way, about OBA, isn't that idiot out of jail now? Yeah, and I think his probation is over too, at least as of 2 years ago, I think. unless he violated his probation. He wasn't allowed to use the internet during that time. But something tells me his probation is over and he just doesn't have the inclination to come back, which honestly, I can't really blame him all that much. OB doesn't have the balls to return to YouTube. My sister died about a year or two ago. I still miss her dearly. Very sorry for your loss. It's horrible. I don't have any siblings. I'm an only child, but I'd still imagine that's a shitload of pain. You think he lived through a sentence, or did he get the kitty diddler treatment? I think I would have heard something if something like that happened to him. I've never done an unboxing video in my life. Same, and I don't think I ever will. Before I leave, why specifically 2:05? I don't know. I just always liked ending the streams around that time. It's my autism. I like doing things in a routine, ending things I like planning things out and ending things at a certain time. I thought EDP had kidney failure. I thought he did too, but he's still alive, unfortunately. Though if the kidney failure were to ever get to him, or were to ever take him out, I'd be shedding no tears. My stepdad died at 43 in December 2017 due to kidney failure. I'm very sorry for your loss. That must have been very hard. Yeah, I lost my grandmother to cancer, and that's still really difficult for me. But anyway, I'm gonna end the stream now, probably on a pretty depressing note. But as you know, I'm not in the best frame of mind with recent events and such. But I'm persevering. I'm sure that's what the person who passed away would want me to do in this situation anyway. But yeah, thank you all for being here, and thank you all for making this a very lively and fun stream. You did help me take my mind off of it for a little bit and make things a little easier for me, at least right now. But yeah, this is something that's going to be lingering in my mind for a while, and something that I'm going to have to, attempt to process and deal with, which, I'm sure I will eventually, but for now, it's just really, really hard. But again, you all made this, really difficult time just a little bit easier, and I really appreciate that. And I appreciate all the kind messages you all had in regards to that. Thank you, really. Yeah. Next stream will be sometime in June, probably. And again, next week marks 10 years since I first started uploading on this channel. So, there's that. To end the stream off on a somewhat positive note, at least. Again, thank you all for being here. Thank you to those who were here before, who aren't here now. Again, I appreciate everyone who participates in these streams and talks to me in the chat. Yeah. Bye.